getting some audio, isn't it?
Yeah, that's getting audio, but that's not if you unmute the...
Do you need to put it up? Sorry everyone, we're having a slight difficulty with the audio here.
Okay.
Okay, you can hear us. Shall we leave it like that?
Yeah, that'll do.
Sorry everyone, we've got a new microphone and we're having a slight few difficulties with it. Okay, so I'm Kevin and today I've got Emma here with me.
Hiya.
And we're going to cover a bit of a different tech talk today. We're going to cover some of our lamp modules. So these are pre-made modules, ideal for D&T projects or for makers at home that are doing lighting projects. We'll take you through them in more detail. As ever, we've got Mark on the questions on YouTube, so if you want to ask any questions, please do so. Sorry, look, I've got a little chin and things on here. Yeah, please ask Mark and we'll do our best to answer them for you. The video will be available on our website afterwards, so yeah, you can catch up there as well. And again, if you have questions after the event, leave them on YouTube and we'll do our very best to answer them for you. So, what we're going to cover today is some boards, which we do have here. I'll hold one up. So this is a little LED module. This is an RGB one. We'll show you more details in a minute. And we also have a white version here. And the idea is these are fully made. There's no electronics assembly unless you're really desperate to do so. You can put them straight into a lighting project. All you need to do is provide power, and we'll go through the details on how that can be done in a minute. And it's a really simple way then of adding lighting to your projects. So I'm going to show you the different modules we have available now. Let me just show you on here. Okay, so we've actually got these LED modules in 4 varieties. We've got the round ones, which we'll focus on showing you today, and we have those available in this round shape. So there's a circular perimeter here with a slightly jutting out section here where there's a switch on, and the switch controls the lighting pattern on that RGB version. We also have a white version, so obviously in this switch it's just a simple on and off, and the LEDs are fixed in a white colour. And then we also have both of these available in a straight version, and these have been available for a little bit longer. The round ones have just come out. So we have the straight version of the white, and we have a straight version of the RGB module. So price wise, the white ones are cheaper because they don't require any control. So you can sort of see this here. It's got a little processor on these RGB ones that controls the colour pattern, which puts the price up a little bit. So these sort of are around £3 down to sort of £2.70 depending upon volume for the colour version. The RGB version is slightly more than that if you wanted the circle, because the reason for this is the PCB is not as sufficient to sort of it takes more space up on a PCB panel, so it costs us more to buy. And then if you wanted the white versions, they're a lot cheaper, so they get sort of a couple of pounds for the round one, and the white one, not that one, it's an example. The white one's £1.95 down to £1.55 currently. So they're not expensive, and they can make some really nice projects. In a little while, Emma's going to demonstrate or show you some of the ideas that we've had. A lot of these will become resources on our website in the future. So I think you've had fun designing them, haven't you?
Yeah, lots of fun.
Yeah, though I've put her under a bit of pressure to try and get a few things ready for today, so there's always that challenge. Yeah, but they're really nice modules, and I think that people will find them very useful for a lot of the projects you might do. We've especially seen them be used nicely in schools for design and technology, and actually the original idea came from a visit to a school that I did. We went in and they were buying sort of these LED strips off, I think, eBay or somewhere like that, for a lot more money to put into projects. And the reason they liked them was because you've got that nice sort of electronic element, so you've got the nice lighting, but it also allows a student to do some quite creative things with 2D design. So a lot of the designs would have like laser cut elements to them. I can show you here. This is an example of a tutorial that you did, didn't you, Emma? Showing how the white version could be used. So here we've created a base, so 4 pieces that form a base, and then the piece that slots into that's got the etched design on it, and then what happens is the white LEDs here are shining up and lighting the piece of acrylic, and that shows really nicely, you know, the pattern that's been etched onto it. And from a student's point of view, there's lots they can do here, because they can reshape this top section, and they can also create their own unique design on it. I mean, we've got an on-air one here we'll show in a minute, won't we? Or we could show in a second. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, Emma's got one here, she'll show in a minute, that's got like a cat and moon. We'll show these on, can't we? We can show them on. Yeah, so there's lots of things like that, and these resources you will see, they're available on our website. So in this instance, they're under related resources. So here we've got some we did for, like, you could have Halloween style or, you know, Christmas style iterations of that design, and then we also have for the RGB version, we've got a similar style design that where the centerpiece lights up and changes colour. So we've got these ones for the straight version that have been out for a while, because those kits have been available for longer, and now Emma's going away and she's creating some ideas for the round versions, which will be coming soon. Okay, so should we show them? Can we switch to the downward facing camera?
Yeah.
And what we'll do is we'll show you first of all a bit of a close up of the 2 boards. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
So let's get this right. So yeah, here's the sort of the boards as you can see them. The LEDs, even though it looks slightly weird because you've got one slightly inset to allow for the switch, but they're all on the same, I think it's 72-degree angle split. So they are actually of an even degree separation from each other. And then what we have on one end is the power input, which is you'll see there, which is the micro USB connector. And what we've done is we've designed these specifically so that you can use a standard micro USB cable, you know, that you would put into a computer. Now a computer often, this is the auto. I've had this one. It will sort itself out in a minute. There you go. The USB from a computer is often limited to 100 milliamps, so we've designed these boards so that they don't take more than that amount of power, so you can safely plug them into a standard PC USB output. The other options are to plug a standard cable into like a USB charger, a power bank would work, or you could use like a micro USB power supply that often you'd maybe use to power a mobile phone or something like that, and they work really nicely. So they're a very easy board to power. And then on the opposite end of the PCB, you would have either the power switch, which is you'll see on the white version, which is this one here. So you simply switch that between on and off, and they're on. Or on the RGB one, you have like a mode select button, and we'll demonstrate this in a minute. But the point here is there's actually a selection of colour modes that you can have with the board. Yeah. So but they're roughly the same style, and in the centre of the boards we have is it 3.3mm, so we'll take a standard 3mm bolt.
Yeah. M3 fits.
Yeah, so you just put a standard M3 screw through the centre there, and you can bolt that board into place, which we'll show you again in one of the examples we have. Could we power up the boards so that people can see them?
We have a...
So Emma's working her magic now on the... So this is just the white one, you see, you just turn it on and off. It's sort of really simple. The LEDs are quite, it's hard to see on the video, but they're quite a wide angle, so they would evenly light up, like if you put them inside a lamp or something, you would get a nice sort of dispersion of light. So what this one's doing now is it's going through its colour selection, so it's going through the rainbow. And then if Emma presses the button at any point, it stops on the colour that it's currently on. So if you wanted it that's currently green, which might be a bit hard to see, but that's green. And then if you press it again, then it does like an up and down fade. So it goes down to 0 and back up again on the colour that it's on. And then if you press it again, it does like a chasing pattern. So this is quite a fun one. It's a bit like disco lights. And then you press it one more time and it goes off. So that mode button and it doesn't take hardly any power at this point, so you know you don't need to worry about there's no physical off switch, but that button's there responding to the choices you make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. The idea being you could choose what you like. You know, you might want it to be a rainbow lamp, or you might want to fix it on red or blue or green, or fade up or down, or again you've got that sort of disco pattern there at the very end. So it's quite a versatile board, and the straight versions are absolutely identical. So if you've got the straight version, which you know Emma's got there in a little case, this is the straight version of the RGB. You know, the LEDs are in different positions, but the way it works is totally identical. So you know you've got the select switching on the end, and the power input on the opposite end. Yeah, so you can see again that will go for the rainbow, and the selection mode works in the same way. So they are the straight and that's quite nice, isn't it, when you see the straight. But the straight version, the round version are literally just different PCB layouts of the same circuit. The other thing that you may have noticed on these is these two extra pads. There's sort of there or here, and the point to those is that sometimes the position of the on-off switch might not be good for what you want to do. You know, you may want it to be mounted separately on an enclosure or in a different position. So what you can do is you can actually mount a switch in parallel to the main switch, which would mean that, you know, if you wanted the on-off switch somewhere else, you would just leave the normal switch in the off position, and then the control would be by the additional switch that you've added. So you know, you can. There's so many switches out there. I'm sure you might want a different style one in your design, and then in that case you would solder wires from that switch to the positions here on these pads on the PCB. And that's actually something that Emma did in one of the projects you made.
Yeah. There's I soldered an extra switch onto the side.
Can you see that? Shall I come back to you?
You're
going to go under there, right?
Yeah, I'll go under here.
Yeah.
So you see I've got the board under here, and there's not enough room to be able to press the button from the inside. So I've put an extra switch on the outside here, and it's just soldered on here to that this pad right here. It just allows me to use the RGB switch from the outside. Yeah. So it's now powered. I'm going to try and get the switch in.
Yeah. So the controller's there you go.
And the controller's now on the outside of the lens.
Yeah.
Which is yeah.
So we'll show you this project in a bit more detail. Maybe we'll move the zoom up a bit. So
I'll pop these into the headband.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I say, that a lot of the things you'll see in a minute for the round boards are tutorials or examples that we are creating ourselves now. So these we'll be putting these onto the website, you know, in the coming weeks. There are lots of resources already available for the straight versions, and they can be picked up from the product pages of the individual product pages on the website. And we'll, if you keep looking back, we'll be adding more over time.
Yeah, we've got a couple of the straight ones here as well, just to demonstrate.
Well, let's do that. Shall we just try and raise this up? Yeah, get a bit more space so you can. Okay.
So here is move those aside. Here is the enclosure I designed for the straight one, adapted from the smaller the round white one that we've had for a while, and the purpose of this is to provide like a support for edge-lit designs. So for instance, this is one I made this way up, I suppose. So this is one I made which looks like a cat sitting on the moon, and if I plug this in and put this here.
Yeah, it's quite a bright room in here, so you quite get the full effect, but yeah.
So it works really nicely with all of these effects, especially this. This is quite a calming one. I can see this being really nice for something like a night light or something like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously got disco mode. It's it's quite wonderful.
That's quite a pretty design though, isn't it? Because you've done a lot of etching on it, haven't you? And there's a raised sections in here.
Yeah, so this is like three layers of etching. I think there's one. This is the tallest one, the highest one, the cat. Then there's one just a little lower in the moon, and then lower again for the shadowed areas in the moon. And this is a DXF, which is available on our website. If you have a look in our resources section, you can find a lot of these. This one isn't on our website. We actually made this for this room. This on-air sign. It's a really simple design. It just shows you how it could be used in a classroom really effectively if it's.
I think what's nice here is you can see the variation of both the outside shape and the etching. Yeah, I mean that.
So you don't have to always have it a circle or anything like that. It's a very versatile way of designing.
Yeah, and even the base shape could be totally different.
Oh yeah.
You know, people might want to 3D print the base if they wanted to do, bring that element into the design project. I mean, we've used plastic, haven't we? But the base could be wood, couldn't it, easily?
So ours is layered acrylic, but if you were to take this this shape here and maybe even this and apply it to something else, again, this is a DXF that's on the website, so you can borrow that design element and move it over to something else. Yeah, really easy.
Yeah, very. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the point really. We're just trying to give you examples of how this could be used maybe in a classroom or in a maker project. But they're all very adaptable, aren't they?
Yeah.
For what we're trying to do. You're going to show the round one now?
Yeah, this is one that I've.
This is the one we're working on at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is one that I've literally about 5 minutes before coming on. I've been working on, and this will be sort of a lamp style enclosure with I've got some polypropylene, which is cut with stars, which will sit into the design like that, like in a nightlight sort of a fashion, and yeah. So this is going to be there's a hole here that goes all the way through for M3 and an M3 screw.
So it's like a base, isn't it, really? Yeah. So I think Emma's trying to create like a tube, where there's a top and a bottom. I think there's a bottom at the top as well. So there's a routed, or you've made it out of different pieces of plastic.
Yeah,
haven't you?
I've layered laser cut acrylic.
If you were doing it in a school again, you could turn wood or you could turn a groove in, and then that top and bottom, that channel holds the flexible piece of polypropylene.
Yeah.
So have you got the polypropylene again?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, what Emma's done here is she's cut a pattern on the outside. And if you sort of show that, where the light would show through. We were talking about maybe an option might also be to have like a piece of frosted polypropylene on the inside to diffuse the light more. But obviously, this pattern could be anything that a student would want to show. So they might want to make it look like their favourite football team, or their I don't know whatever their hobby might be. If it was my daughter, it'd probably relate to something to do with TikTok or something, I suspect. But they can make personalised lamps here, but they can also personalise the top and bottom section, can't they?
Exactly. Yeah. You could change materials, colours, change the shape so that it's not so much around. As long as you have this groove here, you'd be able to the shape of this part and what's on top of it even completely up to you. And it doesn't even have to sit in a circle either. You could very easily do a hexagonal design and cut either acrylic or polypropylene in flat segments, and make it more of a traditional sort of like a medieval sort of lamp, perhaps, or something that looks a little bit like a Victorian street light, perhaps. I think that would you could definitely do that.
Oh, there's lots you could do, isn't there?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you could use the sort of curve cutting, couldn't you, to make it out of these? So you could have a piece of acrylic as the outside section.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot you could do. It could be square, couldn't it, with like a frosted piece of acrylic up each side.
Yeah. It could the curve cutting, I think, would be quite nice as well, because especially if you did like a honeycomb, the honeycomb sort of design, it would cast some really nice shadows when it's turned on. So I think that would be quite pretty.
So yeah, that's a project. You know, if you keep looking out, we'll have that available within a few weeks. Maybe with some of those extra ideas we just discussed.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of got one last sort of example we were going to show you. And well, you've got your goggles as well.
Oh,
but the this is we did an angle poise lamp previously with our triangular LED board. That's always been quite popular. So I wanted to show here how easy it would be to create something like that, but using the white version of the lamp. So your switch is available at the front, isn't it? There, on off. Is this plugged in?
Yes, it is.
So yeah, it's a very sort of
there we go.
simple light. Yeah, little desk lamp that could be made. You know, you've got the angle poise element, so you can adjust the the angle at which it sits, which is quite nice. But this is probably in some ways a bit more complex to if a student was to think about it than the other project. But I don't think it's that difficult that they wouldn't be able to do it. And again, you could alter lots of elements within this design, couldn't you? Yeah, you could have a diffuser on it if you wanted to. Lampshades. Yeah,
like a little lampshade here, I think is, maybe something made out of even polypropylene that was like a cone sort of shape would work quite well, I think.
Yeah. So I think what we're trying to show here is that both these products could be used not only to uplight a lamp project, but they could also use to sort of be downward lighting. You might have the colourful one that could be some fun sort of mood lighting that might appear within a house or a home, or with the white one, obviously that's probably more relevant for reading or working.
I think this would make a really neat little like a little craft lamp if you're embroidering or something, or you could have this rather than on like a flat base. You could make like a springy clip and make it clip to the top of books.
Great.
I think that's a really nice idea.
So how's this one? Is this glued down at the bottom?
Yes, yeah. It's just a little bit of glue in the side here. Yep. But
the rest then it's just screwed together.
The rest is just screwed together, and this at the top, partially glued, partially friction fit. The glue is just there for my peace of mind, so that it doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
But it friction fits in the top there. It's just a set of four holes in the top of this section here, which this little
yep. They push into.
Yeah, they push into it. Looks a little bit like Among Us.
Yeah, I think the point behind the glue often is with like acrylic or perspex is that the thickness isn't always that accurate because of the method in which it's made, where they cast it into frames. The surface tension sort of, when they do that, means that the acrylic can vary quite a lot, can't it, in its thickness. So a 3mm piece of acrylic could be quite a lot thinner or quite a lot thicker, and there's not a lot we can do about that really. Obviously you can control the length you've cut it to, can't you? Yeah, but even that's fun sometimes because the laser's removing an amount of material, isn't it? So it can take a bit of thinking about to get that sort of friction fit.
Yeah,
absolutely spot on.
Yeah, you really need to measure the actual material that you're working on, like with calipers or something, to really hone in on what you want it to be. Yeah,
it's always a good learning experience though. So that's a useful thing for sort of student to learn about really. And I think the last thing we were going to show, sort of coming to half an hour, is the goggles. So this is probably the most complex thing that we've made, or Emma's made. So these are sort of what, steampunk style?
Yeah, or cyberpunk probably.
Yeah. And they're just, you purchased those separately?
Yeah, purchased them externally. They are just like a plastic goggle with a screw off, like a section here.
Yep.
And I can actually screw this off and show the inside. So I've made this, I borrowed the glass that came with them and then made an etch here.
So you've added the frosted piece with the sort of the nuclear radioactive bit, right? Yeah.
It's so on the inside here I have I've edited quite a lot, so this is a very involved project. I have here changed the way that this connects to the the board, because the board is obviously powered by preferably a noodle cable or micro USB. So I took the this connector from micro USB, connected it to an adapter which fits to the battery, and the battery lives in an enclosure inside the headband. If you do this one, please don't set yourself on fire. Lipos are dangerous. It is not good to set yourself on fire. Rule 0. But because obviously there is the button here cannot be accessed from the inside of this. Underneath there's a section here which holds everything in place. So what I've done is soldered to the underside of the soldering's on top, but you know what I mean.
To the external pads.
Yes, to the external pads, and then there's a small gap here in this in this
plastic.
Plastic. The wires come through. The wires connect to the
switch.
Yeah.
So basically should put a push switch on the same switch, but on the outside of the goggles there.
Yeah, and that now functions
to control them. Yeah.
So it's a pretty involved project, but it's a lot of fun. It's great fun for stuff like costumes. Like these could be really, really good for costume applications.
Just can't see through them.
Yeah, no. There is a lot in the way here. You wouldn't be able to see through these. But if you're popping them on your head, you know, that's
the costume.
That would be great. You could do jewelry even. You could light up, like if you were doing a costume with a collar or something. You could really go nuts with these. I do love LEDs, so I'm a bit biased, but you could definitely put them all over the place.
Great. Well, thanks for that, Emma. Should we go back to the camera? Okay. So I'm going to sort these little. It looks like I've got a beard. So it's like a little goatee or something. We'll sort that one out, I think, next time.
Yeah.
But hopefully that gives everyone an idea of the kind of things you could do with these boards. Like I say, they're incredibly versatile. They're designed to be low cost, but they're also designed to be very low sort of barrier of entry. You know, you don't need to solder, but you can, with them, you can create some really nice lamp projects, which I'm sure will be very popular with, again, students and makers. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them online for us. We'll do our best to answer them afterwards. If not, check out the website. There's a huge amount of resources on there.
I think I've been asked to put them on.
You're going to put these?
Yeah, I am.
And yeah, so obviously we'll be back again with more of these tech talks in the future. Please subscribe, whatever you want to do, so you can make sure you're aware of them. There we go.
Oops.
It matches your hair, look.
Yeah. I disconnected the battery.
This is the pressure of a live demo.
I know, yeah. It's always when someone's watching.
Oh, yeah. We're going to manage it.
Oh. No pressure.
There we go.
Whoop.
There you go. Well, you can see them on. And Emma's not on fire, so
yes.
that's a step forward.
Always a plus.
Yeah, but yeah, please let us know what you think to this one. It's a bit different because these products obviously aren't as technical as some of the ones we would normally cover. But they are a bit more design-led, and I think we'd like to do a few more design-led talks really, where we can sort of show the practical applications of a lot of our products, because a lot of them are used in schools. Students are making things with them, and I think it's nice to show the kind of things they could do. So, okay, everybody, we'll catch you again soon. Thank you, Emma.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Still fiddling with your goggles in the background. Okay, well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.